software, and he has created this style for transportation research record, Journal of Transportation Research Board, which is pretty much the same style. And you can say use this style, and I hit done. Sorry. Oh, yeah, it's right here. And then go back. Yes, as you can see, it changes all the citations to numerical format, just in a matter of seconds, you know. The first time I used it, you know, it gave me euphoria, you know, because I could, you know, save hours and hours of reformatting, you know, and you know how difficult it can get once you remove one of the references, you know, and you want to reformat the whole thing, you know, it's gonna take like hours and hours. But with a click of a button, not only does it reformat it throughout the document, but also in terms of the references and bibliography. So just in a blink of a second, you know, you can see how easy you can work. Are there any questions? Sure.
If I have a document which already has citation,
All right.
which did not use Mendeley,
All right.
is it possible? Does it detect it?
No, unfortunately not. You have to, you know, go one by one and import directly from your Mendeley library in order
Right.
to get it to work.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't work. So this is like a hands-on, you know, experience with Mendeley. Some other points, and then I'll open it to floor, just if you have any questions. One of the amazing abilities that Mendeley offers is the fact that you can search in real time throughout your document. And this is one of the reasons, again, I switched to Mendeley. Imagine that you're working on a research project and all of a sudden a research terminology just pops up in your mind, like civic boosterism, and you know that you have seen it somewhere, but you don't know where. You know, obviously me working on city branding, okay, there was a term called civic boosterism. And all of a sudden you can see all the instances of civic boosterism in all of your documents in real time. And as you can see, you can also, you know, use like common search parameters, like quotations, as you can see. Okay, there you go. I knew it. I saw it somewhere, you know, and gives you the opportunity, you know, to locate those, and even the instances throughout the document, you know, and as you can see here, like, unless your file is not really searchable, you know, otherwise it would locate it. And it's really easy. It enhances, you know, your workflow, and it saves you a huge amount of time again. But not only keywords, you know, you can go to your document. Let me clear this, or you can say, okay. Especially like Amruta said, imagine that you're working on a lit review project, you know, and you want to get a sense of how many journals, you know, you have, or how many journals, or for example, a journal of American Planning Association, you want to know how many articles have been published in that specific journal, you know, and you can just copy the name of the journal, and you can go to publication names, and you just type it in, and it gives you all the articles, you know, that have been published here in Journal of American Planning Association, also known as JAPA. So also, if you want to look specifically for a year or for authors, you know, like here, you can say, I'm sorry, it's should first clear, okay. And all the articles that I've been reading by reviewing, it all pops up. So this is another way. Also, the ability that Mendeley has incorporated into its core component is the ability to search not only in its local library, but also in different scholarly database elsewhere. If you see a little icon right here, related, for example, travel and the built environment is synthesis. As you can see, if I hit like related, it checks the whole databases and it gives you some other articles related to that. So it gives you pretty much an opportunity to look across different disciplines and see other papers related to that. Also, Mendeley has the ability to allow you to have notes on your article. Imagine that this is like Saskia Sassen article, back in the day, and I want to have notes like this is very good. This is I should use. All right. Or maybe a little bit more meaningful. Well, I know that this. For example, in your lit review, imagine that you're working on a lit review project and you want to define a specific terminology like globalization. And I know this article has that. Define globalization, okay? I put my notes there. So once again, I get caught up in a lot of different projects and I want to filter for that. So you go here and there's a little search field called notes, and as you can see, just type in globalization, it pops up the article that I have notes on. So again, this is a very good way, but also it works with tags. For example, here I have article in press. Let me show you this. It's interesting. These articles I have tagged as article in press. They have not published in papers like in hard copy. They have been available online. So I just wanted to make sure that I have these articles at hand because later on I want to change the citation later on. And let's see, for example, as you can see, article in press. Actually, it does say that. So,
I have a question. So what about articles that are more news-oriented, like news pieces, things like that you might want to refer?
yes, that was
So-
that's a very good question. I'll explain just in a bit. So Abia asked for different things, so it does not only give you to add like articles or research papers, it has a whole bunch of other things. For example, here, I want to see, okay, there is a plan actually here, like a report, City of Dallas. As you can see, sometimes if I drag and drop the whole report here, maybe it doesn't work as easy as articles. So all you have to do is just to create your citation, components yourself. So here, for example, the type, as you can see, it ranges from books and computer programs, encyclopedia articles to report and so forth. So I choose report, and I use the title, like the one here, year, and all the other components necessary for that. I use the URL. Let me give you a more hands-on experience with that. I go to reports, for example, yes, here, McKinsey Global Insight. I drag it to, let me create an folder for that. Reports to, all right. And I drag this report out here. Well, in this case, you know, it does recognize the thing, you know, it knows that this is like a report, and the name sounds fine. Also, the authors sound like fine, but just you just double check to make sure that everything, you know, checks out. Year is 2. And, yeah, this just sounds fine. It may work, and also the URL also gives you the option. But imagine that you happen to, anyway, let's. Urban growth. All right. Imagine that you come across, you know, a book online, but you don't have the PDF available, nor the actual book, you know, and you just read like a sentence, you know, in the introduction of the book, and you want to cite to this. How you should do that? So Mendeley does allow you to create manually. So in this case, I would create like, I go again, as you can see, add entry manually, files drop-down menu, and then I choose the type, like this is like a book, and I you know, copies like, I copy, I'm sorry, the title, paste it right here. Who is in the book? We'll go up again. So this is like an edited book. It's Andrew. Just added, you know, manually, and then David Wilson. In that case, I see that this is like edited. Those are not authors. So here you should add editors right here, right? And then the year that the book is published is 1999. And then maybe the publication, State University of New York. The publisher, State University of New York. And the city, right? These are all the identifiers that you need to have in order to use it later. Okay. The title is not fine, okay. But by any chance, I don't want to leave this field empty. Just add it right here, and you hit save. So it's gonna be right here. And if I go back to my Word document and I want to add this, let me choose a more meaningful, like you can see the actual author here. Right. We're going to roast machine. Excuse my typo. Go to insert. So you can either type in the name of the work or the author, you know, and I have a bunch of actually references here. As you can see, this is the one I'm looking for. And I hit OK. And it's going to give me the citation right here. And you don't have to really worry about this citation right here because it should be right here. Yeah, just give me.
So, Ahmed, if we use for the documents that we don't have their full text, like books,
Right.
could we use Google Scholar to avoid putting stuff manually? Just directly, you know, I think it's the matter of just a click.
Yes, you can do that, actually. Imagine, sometimes you have to check because it happened to me that, I added an article or a book, and it seemed like, it recognizes, but maybe the information is wrong. So you have to always double check if that checks out. But like you said, yeah, if you go here, for example, here, urban growth, let me get this. Oh, as you can see here, I cannot really see my folder that I had just created. So the reason is that I have to hit sync right here. That's a good point. So as you can see, it is working, uploading your document and creating. All right. Once it's finished, it should come up right. Still, it may take some time. Let's see. Yes, it's right here, reports number 2, so it takes a little. So I click on that, and then I have the first one. Okay. If it does have attached PDF, would check up like download PDF if available and hit save. Still, it doesn't save. I don't know why, but ensure that it captured the reference. Let's see. I hit the sync button right here. All right. As you can see, it's pretty much easy. And like you said, Shima, right here, the title is right here. The author seems right. Sorry. And everything. But here we do have just want to make sure that this is.
Also, it gives that, I like what it gives when you save it, that these details need reviewing, that.
Yes,
thing,
sometimes
which
when
is helpful.
Mendeley is not really sure about the
Yeah.
correct, format, it gives you the chance to review.
Yeah.
And you can say the details are correct or not, in that case.
Yeah, especially what, Abir, you were mentioning. I realized, I recently started using it, that especially if you are downloading things which are not like journal articles, if they are reports made by a city, or they don't get, Mendeley is not completely able to make a good catalog of its things, but it always gives you that error. So you know for sure that you need to review
Yeah,
it.
sometimes, for example, you need to do that. So here, if you see, actually this guy, I think has reviewed, or maybe this is like a book chapter, as you can see. But Mendeley, for